everyone for coming here tonight. It means so much to us, especially with people that came from out of state. Really, truly, can't say enough how grateful I am. Really, it means so much to Lori and I.
We're grateful.
I also want to thank the kids. Peter and Kaylin and Philly and Don and G, they had their own jobs to do. They pulled it off flawlessly. Kathy and Val, thanks for your help too. Really, I think it was a great surprise. I think we got her, so it was really good.
Kaylin was too strict.
So, if you haven't seen on the card, we want to remind you, Kaylin and I want to remind you that we asked everyone to do a selfie video if you could. Just wish her a happy birthday, or a funny memory, or an anecdote about getting old, you know. I think that says it all over there. So something like that would be good. Philly has agreed to stitch these all together and give it to her on her birthday, and that's going to be a birthday gift. So you're doing me a solid, because that's all she's getting. So do the video so I can give it to her for her birthday, or else I'm going to be a big problem in a week. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do mine right now in front of you people live, one take. So.
Who's recording? You got it?
Recording.
Got it.
Recording? All right.
But you gotta go where so.
Yeah, let me move. I didn't want to block anyone's view.
Okay, so 50, Lori, the big one. No more joking around on me.
I'm only 49.
Now you're 50.
Talk.
Now you're 50.
I can talk.
So,
Thank you.
so we've been together for like 34 years. That's like 68% of your life, right? That's a huge number, right? And to think about what memory would be our best memory out of that many years. Of course, there's got to be too many. If you're with someone for 34 years, there better be a ton of memories, good memories, or what the hell are you doing, right? So I have to narrow it down. I said, I'll remove all the memories with the kids. Of course, all the 4 kids being born are all magical days, and all the memories of the kids are. I just thought about what the memories were just. It was just you and I, not shared. And when I think about the memories of you and I, one goes right to the top.
The sausage.
No.
Okay.
Don't. It has to do with an Italian meal. It doesn't get your minds out of the gutter.
You're not helping things.
So anyway, no. It has to do with our 20th wedding anniversary. Now, folks, I know who I am, okay? I'm a quality manager. I like things neat and organized, efficiency. I'm Italian, so that means I'm loud. I like to yell, and I have a short temper. I am that stereotype. I own it. I got it. So 20 years, I got to go something big, or there ain't going to be 30 years, right? So I tell her on our 20th year anniversary, I said, pick a spot on the globe, and I'll make it happen. And I'm thinking she's going to say something exotic. Brazil, Barcelona, Rio, Morocco, whatever. Hawaii. She says, Ireland. I'm like, Ireland? Yeah, the countryside is beautiful and I want to see where my ancestors came from. Ireland it is. She gives me a long bucket list of things that she wants to cover in Ireland. And I'll just share just two. She wants to kiss the Blarney Stone. The Blarney Stone. What do I know about the Blarney Stone, right? Does anyone know about the Blarney Stone? I think it's a rock in the back of a farm. You kiss it, a leprechaun comes out, grabs your luck. Who the hell knows, right? Wrong. For those of you that don't know, the Blarney Stone is at the top of a medieval castle, okay? And the only way to get to the top of the medieval castle is to go up these winding, circular, narrow parapets. It's called a parapet.
I didn't know either.
All right.
I didn't know either.
So it's remember, folks, it's 10 years ago. So at that point, I'm a heavy 225. It's July. It's hot. This column thing is built for hobbits. Okay? I'm hunched over, jammed up, one step at a time, just drenching. The only air is coming from slits where they would shoot arrows, right? So I'm like dying. I'm like for a friggin' rock. I'm on line for a rock. But not Lori. She's having a grand old time. Cool as a breeze, going up and down, talking to everybody, whether they want to talk to them or not. She's having a blast. One of the things I love about Lori is she'll talk to anybody and she'll make that time fun. So we get to the top, and I'm like, oh, where's this rock? Let's get this over with. And I look over to the edge, and I see people getting on all fours, rolling on their back, and then a monk holds their legs and leans them over the edge of the castle. And I'm like, what? The Blarney Stone is over the edge of the castle in a hole where you face straight down to certain death? Yes. That's how you kiss the Blarney Stone, on your back with a monk holding your leg. And I'm like, this doesn't sound safe. From behind me, a guy goes, the locals pee on that. And I'm like, okay, where's the exit? And I start formulating this reason why we're not going to kiss the Blarney Stone. We're not going to do it. But before I can do it, Lori gets on all fours, flips over, monk grabs her, dips her down, pulls her back up, and then he says, congratulations, lassie, you now have the gift of gab. And I'm like, the gift of what? What is gab? Gab, talk, speech. I'm like, that's why you kissed that thing, for gab? So I was like, well, what rock or gnome or fairy do we got to go visit and kiss to undo this curse? Because Lori does not need any more gab. We need less gab. The search for the Curlies. We're going all around Southern Ireland, Wexford to... Huh?
Did you do it?
He did it.
Wexford to Killarney.
You kiss it.
I did kiss. I had to. So we're looking for the Curlies. Now, along this trip, we're asking everybody we could see, do they know Curlies? And we couldn't find anybody till one night in Dublin towards the end of the trip.
It's on video.
So, if you don't know this, Lori likes ghost tours, the macabre. She likes hearing the darker side of things. Me, I'm okay. I don't need to hear this stuff. But I'm saying yes to everything, obviously, on this trip. So she books a ghost tour in Dublin at night. And here's a tip. Here's a tip for you travelers. If they're handing out shots on the way to the ghost tour, or any tour, it's going to suck. Further, if they're handing out shots during the tour, it really sucks. So we get on this tour, we get our shot, we're doing this tour, and we do this tour, and it's all like, over here, a whole family was massacred. The husband, the father, the kids. Do a shot. Okay. Over there was a village made of peat and straw. Big mistake. A fire came out, murdered 1,000 people, burned them alive. And you see that tree? A woman was stoned to death for bad mouthing a noble. Do a shot. So we see all this stuff, and she's loving it. And then the tour ends, and we get off this tour. And when we get off this tour, I still remember, the first thing I noticed is like, wait a minute. This is not where we got on the tour. We got on in a big, brightly lit square. There was people, dogs, picnickers. We're in an alley. And I'm like nervous, because all the people dissipate, and we're like, I don't know where I am. It's dark. And she's like, so I don't want to let on that I'm a little nervous. But I'm like, how ironic that we just got off a ghost tour, and I'm going to get killed here, and I'm going to be a stop on a future tour, right? So I'm like, I see a sign up there that says pub. I'm like, let's get off the street. I'll get a cab, right? Now I have to define what the pub, when I say I saw a pub. A pub in 6-inch letters. It didn't say O'Malley's or O'Shea's. It did not have some welcoming glass view of someone inside, an old man with a pipe. No, it was a brick wall, a pub, and a door. We open the door, and I swear to God, no exaggeration, no remembers. We open this door, everybody in there stops talking. All 20 to 30 people stop talking and look directly at us.
There's a horror moment. A scene from a crime scene.
And we heard earlier that in Ireland, a pub is an extension of someone's living room. Well, we just walked into someone's living room unannounced. So we head up to the bar. I know not to order any American beers. I'll give 2 of whatever's on tap that you'll sell a tourist. He charges me like $1 bazillion, taxed it or whatever. And he rings it up. And he rings it up in these old-fashioned, you kids won't remember this, but there was a time before electricity, and I remember that he had those old mechanical cash registers? Remember those? And he hits the button and it rings, and I'm like, what the hell, where are we, right? And I'm like, what was in those shots? I'm just like getting really nervous. And I'm like doing I get my beer, and I'm trying to feverishly look for a cab. And I told you this cab was a curse, right? I told you. Because I'm scared trying to get us a cab, and out of the corner of my eye, I see Lori, whoop, just spin around and just announce to the whole bar, hi, I'm Lori Manzi.
Well, actually, my maiden name is Curly. He's the Manzi. I'm Irish. And I'm like, she just pulled the eject cord. She made a decision that something's gonna go on and she's gonna identify with them and I'm the Italian guy, right? But no. She continues on and she goes, we're from Tampa, Florida. Well, we originally were from Long Island. I think that's where my ancestors came during a potato famine. And she goes on and on. Now, if you know Lori, we think we talked about this. She doesn't tell a story from A to B. She tells a story from A to B, right? And she's just going on and on to this whole place. Now, most people turned around and got back to their soup or whatever, but two guys locked eyes on Lori, unfortunately for them, and she's talking now directly to these two guys, and I'm noticing they're moving to the door. And I'm like, why are they going towards the door? Are they going to ask us to leave? Prevent us from leaving? Or they just don't want any more dumbass tourists coming into this bar, right? Ruining their evening. So she's going on and on and on. And again, I'm being a yes man. I'm not telling her to stop. She's going on and on and on to these guys. And she ends with, so do you know any Curlies? We're looking for my ancestors.
He goes, and this is a quote. This is exactly what happened. He says, I do know some Curlies. In fact, I have some in my phone. They work for me. She jumps off the stool, and she's so excited. She goes, really? Could you call them? Would they come to this bar? I'd love to meet them. I want to know all about the Curlies. And then she goes on, and the guy just goes, and I quote, sorry to disappoint you, lass, but the Curlies are nothing but horse thieves and cutthroats. He said, I would call them.
We have that video. We have that video.
I would call them, but they're already drunk, and they ain't coming to work tomorrow, or I tell them in person. Now, no offense to the Curlies. It was funny. Her face, if you could see her face, it was so excited to like this. Meanwhile, I doubled over in laughter. I think it's one of the most funniest things in my life. And Lori, our whole life has been those unexpected surprises. And I just want to say, happy birthday, honey. I hope we do another 33 years and I'll get that percentage to 80. I love you very much.